If you believe it, you're gonna make it. Getting stronger by the day, you're invincible. If you believe it, you're gonna make it. Getting stronger by the day, you're invincible.
Hi, I'm Zanti, and welcome to another gripping edition of TrendingSA right here on SABC3. It's Tuesday, and we've got an exciting lineup of trends ready just for you. I'm Lukhanyo, and I'm back with the most talented and equally scintillating crew in town. He's handsome, he's funny, he's the voice in your ear in the morning. It's Mo Flava.
That's right. They say I have a face for radio. Have you seen this face for radio?
And of course, he's even more handsome. Sorry, Mo. And he's the people's favorite shade master, none other than the Emperor of Mlazi, Mable.
I can't relate more. Nobody has ever said I've got a face for radio. I've got a face for TV. So, guys, before we get into the show, today marks the day when we had fellow South Africans. We are going to go into lockdown level 5 for 21 days.
Yo.
And then it became 3 years.
I was never ready to finish the fridge, go through the cupboards, you know what I mean? And then I look at myself in the mirror and go, is that me?
Was it lockdown gains? Oh, I learned how to bake. I learned how to bake cookies and bake my face. If you do no makeup, you know what I'm talking about. But I hated that period. Oh my God, being locked in the house is not my portion.
I've made the biggest mistake of my life during that lockdown. I went and got 2 dogs. Yo, it's time for top trends. So this video went viral on Twitter. Take a look.
Next! You? Next.
Naturally, the video drew some conflicting reactions, including Gauteng MEC for Education, Upanyaza Lisufi, who had this to say: "This is completely unacceptable. Team Education kindly verify." And today, because it's a never-ending story, journalist and news anchor Aldrin Sampier added his voice to the conversation when he tweeted about hair politics. He said, "Hair is very much political in any settings. Things escalate very quickly. Leave people's hair. If someone else's hair makes you feel uncomfortable, that's a you problem." Were obedient, it was meant, and that's a big problem. But what I want to talk about, Lisuka, I want to talk about us glamorizing the things that we grew up with. There was a tweet that got me. It was Ulindelani who said, "I sugar our pride. Untidiness cannot be tolerated. South Africa has gotten too soft and woke for its own good. No wonder our youth are a mess." You see, that's what I want to talk about. We always go on as if the kind of surroundings that we grew up in made us into these perfect beings. Meanwhile, our generation is busy with domestic violence, rape. We are even killing grandmas. We are not a generation that turned out fine.
Yeah.
So this whole notion of we turned out fine because we were beaten and toxic things happened to us. Actually, we are a broken generation.
I mean, the other thing I want to throw in here is the issue of discipline, which always comes up in situations like these. And is fear the way to go? I mean, all you see in this video clip is a teacher instilling a great sense of fear, somehow in the name of discipline. And a lot of us can talk about whether or not teachers are empowered to discipline learners, but at the same time, it is very possible and doable, like many teachers have done, to instill discipline without necessarily instilling fear. Standing with a comb at the school gate saying, "Yabona wena, you are next." I mean, there's many ways to do that.
Yeah.
So we need to look at that. We need to look at ways that we can instill that discipline without necessarily making kids frightened to come to school.
And also just looking at the rules, that because something is a rule doesn't make it right. Apartheid was also a set of rules. Just saying.
Assam.
Sure. Well, with all that being said, it seems like the National Association of School Governing Bodies has called for a formal investigation into the teacher in question. All I can say is that things are going to be shaking. Heads might roll. I'm really curious to see what happens next year.
Well, speaking of what happens next, in the next chapter of his life, Julius Malema's 40th birthday celebration had a lot of interesting guests and moments. And one such moment from this get-together made its way onto the timeline. This video, guys, please watch.
I asked them. They said, "No, we don't want to." And then I left. Then Floyd followed. Floyd is not here because He had no options. Floyd took a conscious generational.
And that's such a powerful thing that Malema said, because he's giving Floyd a certain picture that he's not somebody who just followed him because he made his own decision. But I mean, it's also a huge leap of faith to follow a friend or a fellow comrade into a greener pasture, doing their own thing. I mean, is that something that you guys would have the courage to do, to take the leap of faith?
Hell no. To the no.
So you wouldn't follow me, Mablay?
I am not. Mo, I saw what happened at our sister channel. And I'm not following anyone. I will stay right here. Remember when 16 people all left at the same time because they thought if we all gang together. You see, it's just, I know the country that I live in, so I'm staying right here. You guys want to protest, it's fine.
Now we know who not to call should we ever protest on the show. We know you are not our Floyd.
No, I am definitely not that person. Do not rely on me for that. So in the name of this bromance, we decided to look at other bromances that are certified hits and others that are arguably flops.
So this friendship might be controversial to some. I'm actually not even sure why. I think it is the cutest thing. It includes songs, it includes travel, it includes thigh-high boots. This romance or bromance between Somizi and Vusinova. Slip of the tongue. Oh no.
You know what I don't get? I interviewed Vusinova on my radio show about a week ago, and he didn't want to answer the question about his relationship with Somizi. And we know that they're close. We know that they do many things together. In fact, that's why some people think you can't be that close and not possibly be dating, which is a very scary thing, because it is such a beautiful relationship. They have a history together. Maybe when they go to Durban next time, I don't know who they'll take with. Maybe they'll leave other people behind and just go by themselves.
I also like it. I love that relationship.
Well, we call them the Kings of the Weekend, Spectacular and DJ Naves. I mean, these guys are joined by the hip. Some would even go as far as saying they're inseparable. And I don't know, do you guys think this is a winning formula? I want to remove myself from this one because they are my friends, they are my colleagues.
I definitely think for any relationship to work, somebody needs to love another person more. Like, there has to be that one that loves you more. Have you seen how Spare looks at Naves in interviews?
Yeah.
It's just, I say in your life, if you can't find somebody that looks at you like how Spare looks at Naves, then don't get into that relationship.
And also the way they work together is amazing. Shout out, like a little tidbit, they're doing the music for the show that's coming out that I'm on SBC One. So yeah, when you work well together and you happen to be good friends, I think it's cute.
Totally.
Okay, this one is a major flop, okay? So surely we all know the famous story of Mark Zuckerberg and Eduardo Saverin, that they're basically roommates and they started that revolutionary app that, you know, only our parents use now. And I'm there as well. I love it as well.
You are, okay.
So, wow! So I want to ask you guys, because that relationship ended in turmoil. Like, it just, we all saw the movie. Would you guys, have you guys ever experienced something like that?
I haven't. I really haven't. Mo, I feel like there's something, your finger tapped.
Well, I must say, I've had an experience where a relationship basically went to the dogs. Former radio host, now YouTuber MacG, him and I went into a nightclub business. And he decided to go behind my back and try and do this whole thing by himself.
And that...
I mean...
and that is a TrendingSA exclusive.
And he still talks about me on his YouTube show, which, I mean, is a beautiful thing.
Anyway, don't move, because clearly it's popping today. We'll be right back with trending stories for you after the ad break. Make sure you're in the know with Vodacom Daily Deals. We're giving away 5 gigs of data daily to keep you connected to education, job opportunities, health, and business. See you right after this, Mo. We'll go into nightclub business together. Welcome back to TSA on 3. Now, the noose is finally getting tighter around Zandile Kumete's neck after her and co-accused were finally charged in the for 20 Okay, let me start again, everybody. I'm so sorry about this. This is me not being here for a long time. Anyway, so Zandile Gumede and her co-accused have been charged for 420 million rand solid waste management tender back in 2019. The embattled former mayor of eThekwini and her co-accused case has been transferred to the Durban High Court and is scheduled to commence on June 14. Woo!
Yeah, let me tell you, this story will rock anybody's chair, Lesotho, trust me. I mean, in their 324-page indictment charge sheet, which basically reads like a political thriller manuscript penned by John Gresham, I mean, it includes nearly 3,000 counts of corruption, fraud, money laundering. I mean, is this a competition? The news of Zandile Gumede's charges have obviously drawn a lot of conflicting views on social media, and this is what Tweeps had to say. So Kamu Marvin says Zandile Gumede has 2,786 charges.
Oh, my word.
Yet some of y'all will be out here defending her, claiming she's under attack because she's black. The reason corruption has been given race in this country is because y'all protect these corrupt guys because you say they are one of our own.
To give us the fourth perspective is our friend, political analyst, social commentator, Lukhanyo Vangqa. Welcome back to the show, Lukhanyo.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So, Lukhanyo, the story is obviously on everybody's lips. What exactly do you make out of the story?
Look, these are very serious allegations that are faced by Mam Zandile Gumede. These are very large monies involved here. For 420 million is nearly $500 million. But not only that, this is a contract that goes to the core of service delivery. This is a waste management contract. If this contract is not done right, rubbish will pile up on the streets.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 2 years since this case was launched, and it's been marred with indecisiveness, and it nearly collapsed. Do you think that the Durban High Court will be the final nail in Mam Zandile Gumede's coffin? And I want to know, Uguti, how will they handle this the high-profile case, and will it actually set precedents for the future?
Well, hopefully not, because this is a casebook study of how not to conduct a public prosecution. I mean, we saw the Hollywood-style raids and arrests that happened almost 2 years ago, and it has taken the public prosecutor, Mr. Larkin, almost 2 years to serve a simple indictment and on the defendants. And this is not how public prosecutions are supposed to happen. Hollywood-style arrest must be matched with Hollywood-style prosecutions, quick and fast. Justice delayed can be justice denied.
Well, you speak about Hollywood style. I mean, it was all happening even outside the Durban Magistrate Court. I mean, we saw her supporters setting up stages, picketing, some even coming as far as the Free State to come and show solidarity and support for the embattled leader. Does this speak to the narrative here that there's a political conspiracy involved here? And what do you even make of this kind of support that you see outside the court?
See, unfortunately, the actions of the NPA sometimes fit into this narrative, because the only people that we somehow recently see being charged are only the vanquished from the previous conference of the ANC. So it's only the faction that was defeated who are now being charged. We'd like to see some members of the winning faction as well, who have some serious allegations against them and the case to answer, join this particular factionalist in the box as well and answer for those allegations. Then we can say justice is fair and blind in South Africa.
Okay.
Wow, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Lukhanyo. I'm sure we'll speak to you very soon on another legal issue on our timeline. Now, this next story made it onto our timeline after award-winning fashion designer and the 2019 LVMH winner Thebe Magugu shared this interesting tweet. He said, "Proud to announce that the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the Met, has acquired our Girl Seeks Girl dress from Autumn-Winter 18's Home Economic Collection to preserve it as an example of outstanding contemporary design." Woo,
Congratulations.
I mean, this is big, right? I mean, this is like monumental in the world of fashion.
It definitely is. I mean, for us who follow fashion, into fashion, the Met is like the Vatican, basically. Do you know what I mean? It's like that place. It's iconic to have a South African designer whose pieces are now turned from just fashion into art that's going to be in there forever. Is just, I can't.
Are you dying right now?
I'm dying.
Are you dying?
Please send me a dress. I love you so much.
No, man, we absolutely have to celebrate excellence. And I mean, in the spirit of preserving garments, I mean, I would love to know from you guys, which garment or clothing item that you own do you think needs to be preserved
I believe that no museum of fashion and art should not have this. This is an emperor going into battle. Shield and everything. Sure. I love that.
I love that.
That is gorgeous.
It's giving me art and culture, which is like a really big moment.
You're saying it's giving you Zulu.
It really is.
Art and culture.
Art and culture? Wow. Well, wait till you see my picture. So, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the host of the most Metro FM Awards in 2015. A whole Mo flavor. Hosting this award. And this suit right here is the suit that I wore, one of many suits, of course, when I opened the show. Call it mustard, call it whatever you like, but this is majestic.
Mo, you look like a corrupt pastor. you look like you preach prosperity to unemployed people.
Just give us 1,000 rand.
Mo!
All the more reason why we need to preserve that suit, because it's going to be a lot more worth in the future. Absolutely.
Okay, speaking of worth a lot, the piece that I'd like to preserve is the first award I ever won was the Mail and Guardian 200 South Africans in 2019. And this dress I bought, it was actually from like a random department store because I couldn't find a designer yet who knew who I was. And then I happened to wear it on the cover of The Throne because I just thought like, let's bring it back for another moment.
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, so the thigh out moment. I think I'm going to keep this one, and it's going to be one of those that, like, if my kid is like going somewhere, I'm going to be like, ooh, once upon a time.
Don't be that parent.
I'm definitely me.
No, don't be that parent.
We have to talk about that tattoo. I mean, what a reveal.
We'll do Trending After Dark where I can't show it right now.
Guys, after the break, we'll be talking to social entrepreneur and founder of Funda, Vuyo Pakade, about his groundbreaking digital startup. See you after this. Welcome back to TrendingSA right here on SABC3, the show about high slits and friends betraying you. Right, this next interview is brought to you by our friends at Vodacom Business, keeping SMEs connected. So with countless obstacles that impede on the progress of students, especially those from underprivileged backgrounds, our guest tonight has founded Funda Technology, a digital startup which is on a mission to make tertiary education more accessible.
So the tech platform matches eligible students with scholarships, grants, and other academic sponsorship to fund their studies. And the talented social entrepreneur and founder of Funda joins us to tell us more about his goal to get students into institutions of higher learning. Welcome to TrendingSA, Vuyo Pakade.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing?
Good, thank you. So this is such a great initiative, obviously. What exactly is Funda and how does it work?
So Funda is a tech company aimed at obviously addressing the gap of inequality between students in higher education, getting into higher education. It was born from my own frustrations of not being able to actually find scholarships when I was in varsity, and also realizing, through the Fees Must Fall movement, how big the problem was in terms of student funding. So we aimed to create a platform that matches students and allows them to actually find information based on their own criteria, what they are eligible for.
Vuyo, can you briefly tell us how this app that you have will actually impact the education system?
Yeah, so the first aim obviously is bridging the gap of information, right? Information about opportunities that are out there. And what we aim to do is students can sign up to our platform on app.funda.co and then are able to complete a profile and then are matched based on that profile to opportunities that they qualify for. We then go on to have full-on discussions with bursars and funders and try and bridge the gap between the two by connecting them through our platform and making recruitment and finding the opportunities easier.
Of course, in your fact-finding mission, you discover that Africa has about 42 billion rand in available scholarships, grants, bursary opportunities. I mean, let's talk about this criteria that you use in, matching the potential students with all these opportunities that you've been speaking of.
Yeah, so all bursaries have their own criteria, right? So what we've actually done currently is that we are currently just matching students based off their interest and what they're looking to study. And furthermore, we're going deeper into conversations with funders, with another big funder that we've actually signed on, and looking at what their necessary challenges are in terms of recruitment and finding these candidates. Because we have an app, it's much more accessible to a wider range of individuals. Because smartphones are much more accessible in the rural areas and townships than you'd find any computer or laptop. So through our technology, we're aiming to bridge the gap and match these two based on their own criteria. Every funder has their own criteria, but we utilize that to be able to showcase to them, here are the students on our platform, and then they can find them through us.
Okay, cool. So just one more time for the people watching and the potential students, can you tell us how one goes about signing up for the app and what the process of filling in the criteria is?
Yeah, so they can go onto our website, www.funda.co. That's FOONDA.co. They can then also, if not through our website, they can also go on app.funda.co, and they'll be prompted to go through our sign-up process. Once they've done that, they can then be matched to opportunities that are currently on our platform. We are also engaging with corporates and other funders that are looking for students and trying to bridge the gap with that. So as we continue to go along and grow, we're also getting funders to come in and bridge the gap and assist students that are on our platform.
I mean, the fact that you're assisting is brilliant, but as we all know, running an entity is a challenging affair. So tell us about that, aspect of it and what you are grappling with at the moment.
Sure. So as we currently work now, we charge a recruitment fee to funders to be able to find these students for our platform. But further than that, we obviously giving them candidates that they can match their criteria and make it easier for them. So it's quite a cheaper process than the norm. And I think with the whole pandemic now and lockdown, it's also become a big challenge for them to go around the country trying to find these candidates. So come through us and we'll give you those candidates. But second to that, we're also creating a recruitment software that allows recruiters and funders to be able to access students that are on our platform much easier and utilize that software on an ongoing basis. So we're just trying to make that process seamless and easier for everyone and improve the experience, both candidates and funders.
And it's brilliant what you're doing. So big up to you, carry on doing it, changing the face of education, and who knows, how big and far and wide this can reach. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, brilliant. I mean, Mzansi needs solution-orientated entrepreneurs like our guest tonight. And Vodacom Business is dedicated to growing businesses and is actually prepared to help wherever possible to ensure that they do. So start doing business the smart way. You can search Vodacom Business SME, call 082-1960.
So whether you require fast, reliable internet for your business, marketing, or business funding, Vodacom Business is helping SMEs grow their businesses with their smart business solutions, keeping businesses connected.
All right, guys, so see you tomorrow. And don't forget, we're giving away 5 gigs of data daily to keep you connected to education, job opportunities, health, and business. Make sure to check our social media pages for more information. And until tomorrow, good night, SA. Mwah.